the market and those magic numbers I talked about in my last video. I gotta update it, so stick around for it. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education, and a fly with no wings. Is that called a walk? We're going to take a look at SPY and QQQ to give an update on the markets and also some of the plays that I'm in. And I will tell you in this video about the Moomoo app and how I use it, and also my Patreon, where you can see my buys and my sells and the options course that's over there. For right now, I do want to get into the charts. So we're going to start off with SPY. That's right, the SPY that tracks the S&P 500. And you can see this formation that we have going on right now, this descending triangle that we have. And you can see the slopes that will come down off the top, and it is possible that we come back and retest that high. You can see the low that we're riding on right now. As a matter of fact, I can adjust a little bit to average out these different low points that we have. And I said that 430 in my earlier video was that magic number. Our low price today was $429.99. Like, that almost sounds like an advertisement for some nice vacuum cleaner or something like that, for that to come out. But we actually did come down below that. We're lower than our previous low, and that, in my opinion, my friends, is troublesome. I think that the next move, that confirms that we're going to move downward from here. There's no promises, no guarantees, and it's possible that we do bounce some more. And if we do bounce and we only come part of the way back up to this and then return back down to this trend line, then to me, that's even further confirmation that we're going to go softer in the markets here. So we absolutely want to be watching out for that. So that 430, still the magic number. The price today, tagging down below 429.99. Not great for us if we're looking for upside in the market. We closed at 430.42, so we did close up above that 430. But man, oh man, like, it's a pretty crazy chart to look at, and so we better know how to capitalize on it, protect ourselves and our portfolios if we can, and then also make a little bit of extra on top of it if we're able to do that as well. So here's the Qs. Looks very similar on this one as well. So for this one, I said that magic number was 354. And today, we got to a low of 357.59. The 354 comes from this candle back here. That once we overtake that previous low in the NASDAQ, then again, that also spells trouble for the markets. Honestly, the SPY could lead the way for us and the NASDAQ can follow. So we're going to have to watch and see what happens with that. I think that some of the big tech is really holding out for us and really helping to prop up still the market's just a little bit and being a little bit more resilient for us than what we're seeing in the S&P, at least as far as the candlesticks go. When we take a look at these charts, the momentum on both of them is still bearish, although evening out, which is kind of like, yeah, maybe we're seeing like a temporary bottom or something like this, but we don't have confirmation that momentum has switched on us in the meantime. So that's very much also worth checking out. So as I have said, I do my trades over at Moomoo and their options analyzer tool and their advanced trading strategies that they have been incredible. They even have an options calculator over there as well. And they also have learning materials they can access. Wonderful platform. You can get free stocks by using my link down in the description of this video. Here's the deposit levels, the free stocks that go with them. Notice at that $5,000 deposit level, you get a free share of Tesla or Google. And then I also have where you can see my buys, sells, my research that I put out. And I just put out probably the most important video I've ever put out on the Patreon available. I just put it out today. Go ahead and check that out. The Discord is where I post those buys and sells. And if you want access to my options course to learn more about options, I have the basics of it right now. I'm going to start moving on to the application of it, so you can see that all available through the Patreon. So at this point in time, I want to switch over from there and go into some of the plays that I've had and tell you about some of the performance on them, including one of them that didn't work out so well. And I think that that's important that you hear those too. So let's go back over here. And we're going to start off by going to TQQQ. There we are. So for TQQQ, so this tracks the NASDAQ 100 as well, but it's a 3x leverage play. So for this one, I went down to the intraday chart and I did just a small intraday trade on this one. And back here, you can see just a little bit of the drawing that I have on this and really waiting to capitalize on the drop. And I believe that I did that sometime over here as the market was selling off, and I was able to capitalize on 10% gains just in a few minutes time, maybe an hour's time at max when we look at this, and I have to pull my transactions to see exactly when that took place. So that was one that I thought was very nice. And then another one, and this one I think has a lot of room on it, and that one is Meta. So for Meta, let me go back out to the daily chart. I have this formation drawn on here where we have a symmetric triangle going on, and it is possible that we push down through the bottom side of this. And even though I did snag about 5% from my options play on this, 5% profit, I still think that it's possible that we get a lot more, especially as we break down through the bottom of this. It is noteworthy as we look at this, let me put up the moving averages on here for you. It is noteworthy that we closed back down below the 50-day again. That means that we have that as pretty significant resistance. You can see how well the Meta has been following that. And these blue lines that I have on here, this thing, should the market sell off and it can drop with it, we can not only stop at buying 290 or go right through 290, we have room all the way down to this pretty much double bottom at 275. And then if things go really sour for us, we're room down to 250. So I did exit that trade today, but it's one that I'm keeping my eyes on for next week. And I think that it deserves a spot on your watch list. You do your own research and due diligence. And, you decide whether or not you're going to take any sort of position on this one. And it is possible that we do blast through the top of this thing. And if so, then it cancels the whole put option play that I had set up. And I think that it would also take some either significant news about Meta or a market rally in order to make that happen. All right, so let's get to one of them that did not work out so well for me. And that one is Enphase. So this one I told you about before, and I said that it was making me nervous. So what makes me nervous about this is what I believe is going to happen with the markets, which is a sell-off. So I said in a previous video that we have the drop in the prices this way, and then we also have an increase in the momentum going up this way. So that change that we have, that is bullish divergence. However, I think the market might actually squash any sort of move that started to happen. And you can see yesterday was fairly resilient to it, although today it just couldn't hold out, that it sort of sold off. So I was actually profitable yesterday. I was like, well, I'll let this thing ride for a little bit, thinking that, maybe it would still make it through. And then today I was like, I don't want to bear the weekend risk on top of everything else. So I actually closed this one out, and I closed it out. Listen to this. I closed it out at a 40% loss. And so that didn't feel too nice, but on top of all the other gains that I made, I am at a strong net positive for the week. And you're not going to win all of them. And so I want to keep it very realistic and tell you about not only the winners that are out there and the incredible gains that you can make, but also some of the losers that are out there. And I have another one right now. Actually, here, I'll share this one with you. I don't know if I mentioned it yesterday in my video. I'll put it up. This is one that's currently going on that we're talking about over in the Discord, which is available through my Patreon. And this one's Datadog. And this one at 91.50 was about where the neckline was at for this head and shoulders pattern that we have on here. And we are currently sitting below it at 88.76. And I think that it is possible that we come down maybe to that $84, $85, $86 level. So I actually have two different put options out on that right now. I'm going to eat the weekend risk on it. I think it is going to pay off, especially if the market does sell off. So they're sort of in accordance with them. And I only go so deep into how much of my portfolio is actually weighted in those short options. And it is something that I do pay careful attention to because options do move quickly. And if you're on the wrong side of the fence, and like in my case that I have shorted so much of it, it is one that should I lose that money, it's not going to be great to me. However, it's going to be something that the rest of my portfolio and its long positions will be just fine. So that is something that I am watching. And so that one's Datadog. And then one more from today because I'm feeling generous. Happy Friday. That one's SOFI, which also has its own little head and shoulders pattern playing out here. This one, the neckline on this one was right at about the $8 mark, and we fell down through that, hitting support at about $7.50. I still think that we have room to about that $7 per share. And I want you to know that just because I trade stock short, that's based on short-term trends that we have. It doesn't mean that I'm trying to squish the stock or that I don't like the company or anything. I am a long-term investor in SOFI, and I would use any profits that I get from shorting it on the way down, and I'd roll it right back into buying things on the way back up. And that's a strategy that has worked very nicely for me. I did it during the last earnings that we had, as a matter of fact, that I benefited out of not only holding on to the stocks, but also buying call options, cashing them out, and then selling additional call options against my shares when we did have that run up. So right here at the head of this head and shoulders, I made bank off of that, just anticipating those movements, having them play out, and then also expecting it to tumble back down from that. So awesome, wonderful that I was able to have those gains. There are losers that come along the way. I don't know that they're all going to work out, but I have been winning a whole lot more than I've been losing. And I can tell you the people over that Discord have been loving the time that we've been having over there. Not only do I put my buys and sells over there so that they can do work, make their decisions on what they're going to do. So come on over and join the community if you want to. That link for the Patreon is down in the description. Don't forget about your free stocks from Moomoo. And like I said, that's where I do my options trades, and I absolutely love the platform, and I think that you will too. Thank you guys for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.